talked about how in our society we have certain expectations for our men. We have to be strong, protectors, providers, masculine, or definition of masculinity, and we're not allowed to be vulnerable. We can't show weakness. And sometimes asking for help or admitting that you're having problems or weakness is more than a lot of men are willing to do because of the stigma that comes with it. And I I was dealing and have been dealing for the last decade with panic attacks, and like I didn't understand what was happening, where they were coming from, and um, that's the reason I went back and I talk about it in the TED Talk. I went back and watched The Sopranos all over again because Tony Soprano started going to therapy because he was having these anxiety
Okay.
attacks and passing out. I wasn't passing out, but I was definitely having these shortness of breath, tightness of chest, sweating profusely, and the gist of it is, as men, we don't want to ask for help. We got to be strong. Man the fuck up. And uh, I finally, after going through quite a bit, um, came to terms with the lifetime of trauma. Chris Manzione, who's a sports psychologist from AEW, I shot him out in the TED Talk. He said that we all have a reservoir for trauma, and like a dam, you have to let some of that water out. If you don't, that water's gonna find a way out. And he said that these panic attacks that I've been experiencing are likely due to a lifetime of unaddressed trauma. So I told him about my life from my childhood, through my junior high, teenage years, through adulthood, and violence from the time I was a child has just been a regular part of my life. But you know, it was Tuesday. It's just
Right.
and growing up, especially in the black communities, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about PTSD.
Man up. Suck it
Yeah,
up.
suck it up. You're gonna be all right. You ain't taking a mental health day off. You're going to work. Um, and when I talked to him about my life and all the things that I've been through and experienced, he said, "You, my friend, have a Hoover Dam sized reservoir of
Mm.
trauma." I was like, "Damn." And he's right, just unaddressed things, because I would just compartmentalize shit, put it away, and just deal with it. But I wasn't really dealing with it. You're just putting it away on a shelf, and that shit's just building up. And I also talked about how men are 4 times more likely than women to take their own lives, and somewhere like I think the number is like 36,000 men a year take their own lives, and like 12 veterans a day take their lives. And I was talking to back at WWE, one of the talent there was a Marine who had seen action in combat, and I asked him about it one day, and he said, I don't really like to talk about it, and see, I respect that. But then, later on in life, I thought, man, how many of those guys would still be with us if they talked to somebody? And the sometimes we run from that fight rather than engage that fight, that internal fight. And there are some people that think, oh, therapy's bullshit. You're weak, you're soft, whatever. But no, you're not. You're not. And that was the gist of my TED talk. It's okay to ask for help, man. To be better for you, for the people you care about, and for the people that care about you. So I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm very happy so far the number of people that were in attendance or that have seen it. It came up and said that it meant something to them because of their own personal experiences. Somebody I know had a brother that was in the military that took his own life, and she said that it was very inspiring to her. And one of the things I open up by talking about, I'm a professional wrestler, I'm an ex-convict, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I check a few boxes of what we consider tough guys to be. And if I can put myself out there and show my vulnerability, then maybe I can inspire some other guys who are quote unquote tough guys or hard men to realize, hey, you're not alone.